Hi, my name is Olga, and as Irene said, I'm one of the co-founders of Pandora Boxchain project. I understand that it's very cold outside and it's Friday, and probably you came here more for the beers and pizza than for some knowledge or something like that. But probably my talk will not be some business-oriented or technology-oriented or anything, because probably this is not how I work. I hope that my approach to sharing what I think and what I feel will be accepted by you, and we'll have a very fightful discussion after it. So, I will try to explain why all these buzzwords like AI, blockchain, artificial intelligence, governments, and more than that, religions and corporations are just nothing more than bullshit, marketing words, and fairy tales. Here are my contacts. You can also have it on my business card, or just ask me to, I don't know, add you to LinkedIn or somewhere else. This was my question. This was the question that I asked last time when I had my talk. Does anyone know where it's from? Yeah, you do? Hmm? Yeah, good for you. More pizza. Westworld. Yeah. Yeah, some TV series are better than newspapers. This is the question that I want to ask you, and I want you to try to answer it just to yourself after my discussion, after my talk is done. I'd like to start with several quotes. This would be too harsh, I know, but please try to digest. I gathered several people that I really admire. I have Walt Disney, I have Pablo Picasso, of course, Winston Churchill, who actually you can't see it, but he said that the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. Sure, Alan Turing, love this guy. It's very pity that he was gay, but still. He once said that those who can imagine anything can create the impossible. And I want to probably introduce to you this guy, Frank Herbert. He once said that, I will just read the quote because you don't see it that much. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain. You know this guy, right? The V from the movie. I recently saw the movie once again, and one of my friends reminded me of this quote, and actually I do agree with that. And probably most of what I do, it's like this quote. And the last one. Who knows where this is from? No? No one? Julius? No? It's the Sith code from the Star Wars. Sith code. Yeah. It says that peace is a lie, and there is only passion. And through passion, actually everybody can get strength. Through the strength, the power. Through the power, victory. And through victory, every chains can be broken. And my question for you is, what do all these guys have in common? Like the Sith, the Alan Turing, Herbert, whatever. No, nothing?
Dreamers, all of them.
Yeah, but not that much.
They believe that everything is possible.
That is very true. Probably I'll just push you one step forward. They're all dead.
The what?
They're all dead. And some of them have never even lived, like this one. But still, this guy or this character or this, I don't know, a piece of information, whatever you call it, has a huge impact on thousands of people, though it's not even real. And tonight, I'd like to start with a story. It will be my own. Just don't freak out. It will be very interesting. Yeah. Chapter 1. At first, there was nothing and everything at the same time. There was dust, there was water, and stars. But then this guy appeared. Who knows what he is? It's Zeus, right, correct. Speak up, come on. Yeah. This Zeus had more than 3 children, but mostly 3 of them. The first one was Apollo. He had a gift of seeing and foreseeing the future and predicting the future and analyzing and probably understanding and generating different kinds of symbolic information. The second son was Hermes, the best trader ever was, the person who understood all the languages of both animals, fish, human, and everyone. He could interact with every one of them, make deals, and do everything. And the third one was...
Hercules?
No. Hercules was a human, half human. Hephaestus. He was born with 1 broken leg, and his actually job of his life was to create, at first, to create a leg for himself. And then he was the one who created a lot of weapons, a lot of shields, and a lot of other iron, gold, and silver, probably even blades for every gods there were. This is the end of the first chapter. I will move to the second one. This, as you probably saw, the first 4 characters were somehow related to AI. I was actually talking about the AI from its start. It started with the good old AI, as it was called, several decades ago. And then it really split into like 3 fields. And then these three fields evolutionized, whatever, into the new epoch of AI. This was the good new wave AI. It was based on biology and genetics. It also had and still has several sons. It's the genetic engineering, which is based on Darwin's evolution theory, which is used to generate high-quality solutions for, you really can't see that, that's a pity, for optimization and search problems, but they are now relying not on statistics or mathematics. Now they are relying on bio-inspired operations, mutations, selection, crossover, and anything else. And probably you know these guys. Yeah?
Maybe zoom in, zoom out, maybe.
You can move it there, I think.
I should move it closer. It's not that easy. Better?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. So you probably all know that modern AI is more about neural networks than anything else. And yeah, actually neural networks are like a computer simulation of the branching architecture of the human brain and the way that several neurons operate with each other. This is also the end of this chapter, and I will go to the next one. I'd like to talk. For now, I have been actually telling you a story, but probably I know Satoshi Nakamoto as another great storyteller. Because once upon a time, he invented this thing. He invented Bitcoin. He invented the technology and the basic consensus. He told a story to lots and lots of people, just in a white paper, and then everything that we're having now, all this hype, all this disaster, all this losing money, and all these Lambos, this is all devoted to this. But actually, he never invented the blockchain itself, because there is actually no such thing as blockchain. I remember when I first started just researching the field, I read the white paper, and I didn't, like for probably a year or a year and a half, I couldn't understand why do people use two separate words, like block and chain, like a chain of blocks. Why do they combine it? Like, what the hell? There is no such thing. And actually, if you Google it, it would be very funny, because this hashtag actually proves that there is no blockchain. There is just a sequence of blocks, okay. There can be a consensus, okay. There could be different kinds of protocols, okay. But there is no such thing as blockchain. And this hashtag also says that people that are dealing with what Bitcoin nature is for several decades, they understand that blockchain more than it really doesn't exist. It really can't be used for like enterprise solutions or as an enterprise solution. Because let me put it this way. Because everything that you can do with the enterprise is just automation, mostly. It's not about the token. It's not about bringing value. It's just documentation process, automation, and that's it. So if you ever find some blockchain solution for any kind of enterprise, just put the slightly different hashtag, and I think they will find you. I already introduced to you me as a storyteller, Satoshi Nakamoto as a storyteller, and several other guys with their quotes as storytellers. But I think you all understand that what I'm saying, it's like probably rainbows and butterflies for now. It's just a story. And even for Satoshi, it was a story for several decades, but not for now, but not at now. And something happened. And the thing that happened is this thing. Because now everything which involves AI and distributed ledgers, decentralization and everything, it's all bound with fear. But while I was preparing, I thought whether this fear was real. And I understood that there are guys that throughout the centuries were like the best storytellers in the world. There were governments, there were corporations, and there were monotheistic religions. There were people who forced you to believe in their fairy tales. And if they had some other storyteller, like Galileo, for example, they just burned them. Because they tried and they actually managed to achieve the oligopolization of thinking and telling these stories. Because when you tell the story, you are passing the information, not the data, but the information. You are actually probably lighting up the people, and you are guiding them. And of course, these three things, they understood that they needed to be the only three things there to tell any stories. We probably all know this George Orwell's famous novel, 1984. And you, of course, know that guy. And I believe that these guys, they were the ones, probably, at first, yeah, they were storytellers, and also they saw the irrational thing, the wrong things in the way that we live. They saw the wrong things in governments. They saw that the reality that we have been living in is very strange. Probably they couldn't understand it, but they saw that it's something that something was wrong. This is actually the thing from my previous talk, and I actually want to ask you if you ever felt like this. Did you ever understand that you've never really called the shots? You never really have your free will. You never had it. Because you are, like, you have all these boundaries. The war forces, the laws, the religion, the, financial boundaries and everything. You always need to follow the rules. So basically you can't think. You have no right to do things because you can be punished by some laws, by some governments, or some god, something like that. So you can you even live regarding all this stuff? Nonetheless, there have always been people that tried to destroy those boundaries, that tried to move the progress forward, and that tried to reach the stars. Yeah, they also had a lot of fears. At first, they were like cats, huge cats. When you are sitting in a cave, probably huge cats are really the things that you can fear of. Of course, right now even we have the bacteria, we have the fire, but still, people understood that we need to manage the risks in order to get the progress that we need. And at some point in the history, I don't know why, people tried to see the risks, of course, as their fears. And actually, they created regulations and governance and religion. This was the fairy tale they believed in. And regulations, as they expected, were the ones who would manage the balance between the progress and the risks. But these were just the expectations. In reality, the risks and the fears of people in governments or in corporations, in families even, they forced regulations to kill the progress. Because you can't probably risk with your life when you have a kid. You can't invest your money when the market is bad. You can do nothing. And this is where the regulations come and say that, okay, we'll just establish that if the market is bad, every person who tries to invest will be banned. Or something like that. So basically, I think that this is the worst, probably, thing that people have right now. And if you remember this Zeus allegory to the AI, our famous and only storytellers, they forced us to think that AI is not a god. It's not something that can help us. It's not something that we can create and we can interact with. It's something like this that would definitely kill us. And I also was very surprised when I understood that nowadays people believe that they want two things. The first thing is make impact, and another thing is to be a part of something big. In reality, make an impact mostly means just making videos on Instagram for the sake of small kittens, poverty, or something like that. And this being a part of something big means to go to Google or to IBM or to some huge corporation or to church and surrender everything you have to them and make them control every your breath. Yeah. But people think that all of this is free. It's like you go to Google, you have free gym, you have free food, you have like everything. Yes, you never go to the gym because, yeah, you like the beer, but still, it's free. But it's really not free because humanity pays for it. Humanity pays for this by boosting deep and engrossing infantilism and personal irresponsibility. And this, in its turn, gets us to praying, to give up everything we have to someone else, let them decide for me. I don't want to take risks. I don't want to take the responsibility for my actions or for my deeds or for my thoughts. And actually, people nowadays are delegating their true ambitions to everyone they see, everyone who has force, whether it's intelligence or it's like a war force. Everyone wants to do that. I don't know why. And probably the worst thing is that people are now forgetting what a real, true will is. And they never want to remember it again. And I think that people really do this because of the fear, because they are very frightened to stay alone with their void. They are very frightened to face the passions that they have, to face the power that they might have. Because regarding the second issue, who knows what is a non-aggression principle? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Okay, okay, that's it. There was a good thing, which was called the non-aggression principle. It was introduced first by Ayn Rand, but now the non-aggression principle turned into being too polite, never express your emotions, like any of them, none of them. No happiness, no aggression, nothing. And I think that it's probably will lead us to some kind of emotional and power castration. Yeah. And I understood somehow that people are now afraid of themselves more than they are afraid of AI. Because they understand that the second that they dive into themselves, they face the void, they face the darkness, they face that probably even violence that they were trying to shut down. And it's still there, they're afraid, and they're trying just to close the door and never to go back to them. Yeah, so this was another question. Because there is a thought that people are very afraid that the AI would take away the jobs. I don't think so. Because AI will not take away the jobs. It will destroy the safety barrier between the person, her or his fears, and the true self. Because AI can destroy the Google. AI can destroy the governance. AI can destroy all those things. So basically, when you take everything like the job, the entertainments, leisure, kittens from Instagram, people can find themselves in this situation where there is no such entity that you can delegate your power, your intelligence, or your ambitions to. No more delegation. And probably AI threat is not about just losing money or social status. It's more about finding everyone here. Like, where is only you to judge yourself, only the objective reality that would judge yourself. No government, no religion, nothing. But the funny story, I'm not sure that all of us are going to die. probably some of us will even really reach the stars that we have been dreaming for centuries. Because right now, I believe that we are already building new engines. We already have several issues for cancer treatments. We already have several options for gene engineering. And probably in several decades, we'll have new bodies for the minds. But we just need to hold on, to hodl ourselves, and to push the progress boundaries further for like another couple of hundreds years. Yeah. And also, I think we need more storytellers. We need to remove the points of failure that we have now. We need to remove these middlemen, and we need to be able to tell our stories ourselves. To tell what we need, to tell what we think, to do what we need, and to take responsibility for our decisions. So probably, for me, decentralization is where actually the whole world has been talking about recently. It's like the first step. It's about removing the single point of failure and the delegation process. But for me, I think that the actual goal is multicentralization. It's when you have several centers, but they are not outside. They are within every agent within the system. Each of you has this center. And probably for me, finding all these centers and getting into interaction, probably this for me is the real goal. How can we achieve it? It's pretty simple, actually. We must create, actually, open markets. We need to do a very great competition in R&D. We really must to have weaponized competition. Because when everyone can hurt you, when they understand that you have no force, you can do nothing. And we need to have no censorship, no regulations for both humans and AI. Because natural selection is not a law. Me personally, I'm involved in this project, in Pandora Boxchain project. We are building it. We are building the open market with consensus. Yulik will tell more about that from technical perspective. And by doing this, we're preparing the probable baseline for interaction on free market terms for humans for now, and in future for artificial intelligence agents, whatever that would be. Also now we have as a part of our project, we have project of digital immortality. Probably you all heard about the girl who created a chatbot. Yeah, anyone? Okay, the girl had a boyfriend, he died, and she created a chatbot just to interact with him after his death. And she did a very good job. And now she is actually communicating with him. Of course, there are some errors and everything like that. But it's already here. We're already doing that. It's not like the Black Mirror episode or something. It's reality. What we are trying to do is to make this digital immortality unstoppable and to make it uncensorable. We are not using like Amazon Cloud for that because we understand that Amazon Cloud is like a single point of failure. And I would personally never try even to probably transfer my mind or my life to some third party as Amazon, because their servers can be shut down at any moment. They can delete all your files and they can just kill you once more. And the third thing. The third thing is actually AI only based. It's our FreeAI Manifesto. We declared that it's also, as human beings, it shouldn't be censored. It shouldn't be oligopolized or monopolized by any kinds of corporations, by the governments, even by several churches, because they're doing it already. And it must not be singular. We should not allow some singular AI to, like Skynet, to appear, to know everything about the humanity, and of course to destroy the humanity as soon as Google wants to press the red button. And of course, I believe that multiple AIs, they must become a parties, like simple agents in every kinds of games that we have now. For example, economical games. We already have like huge corporations and different kinds of entity that we work with, we interact with economically, for example, and still we understand that they're not humans. It's just an entity, but we still interact with each other. We're not afraid of it. So basically, probably I want AI to become a part of this and become as one of these agents. Yeah. And we understand that the future for humanity and AI are in cooperation. It's not about the violence or killing AI or killing humanity. It's more about corporations. It's not about zero-sum game. What you can do. If you are interested in learning something about this manifesto, you can just go to the website and sign it using your PGP key or the key base. Also, you can take all these t-shirts and things because, yeah, t-shirts work well, especially with the red color. And if you want to pay attention and to attract attention to this matter, probably this is the thing that you can do. Also, I would ask you to hack the system. You need to hold on. You need to not get more and more scammy, especially regarding all this falling that we have for now. And I think you need to invest in longevity researches and different kinds of biohacking. Of course, if you are a developer, for example, you can develop your own trustless, censorship-resistant, peer-to-peer, multi-agent systems and environments. And I beg you not to compromise on any of these four things. Because as soon as you compromise on one, it doesn't make any sense. Because if you make a system which would not be censorship resistant, you will have a government or religion. Because everyone will still have power, or some guys will have the power to shut other agent up. And you can do nothing about it. The same with other three things. I would ask you also to remember this quote, because I believe that to create the AI that would work with us and work for us, we need to first overcome our own fears. Remember this, because this is like an algorithm of how to bear your fears, how to kill them, how to face them, and what to do with them. This is like actually the actual algorithm. And first of all, I would actually ask you to remember who you are, what you ever wanted, what you ever needed, and not to compromise on that, whatever the cost is. Thanks. Thanks. Any questions? Actually, I also remembered one thing. Google has its own like AI code of dignity. It's awesome. I would never use that, but it's pretty awesome. It's about AI being very social. It's about helping people. It's about helping children, and it's about like doing all the good stuff. Yeah, you should just type it and Google it. It's so awesome, I could cry. I felt like a small girl. Yeah.
Question?
Yeah, I think that was too much for the Friday.